Okay, Assalamualaikum and good afternoon. Okay, so today is just for revision. We're going to do revision on some questions from chapter number 13 and also the previous chapter number 12, okay, chapter on the role of central bank. Okay, so this question is from previous, I think semester 161, like 4 years ago questions. Okay, there are many questions on that you can download from the library website. Okay, and most of the principle of economics question, the syllabus are the same. Okay, of course the questions will not be exactly the same semester after semester. Okay, but if you do a number of sets from past years, then you will tend to see that in certain chapter, some certain questions are quite similar, okay, to each other. So let's do question number 58 first. So this is on chapter number 12 on the role of central bank. So we discussed this before we had this 1 week break due to the COVID-19. Okay, which set of actions would the central bank use to increase money supply? Okay, so we discussed this a few weeks ago. So central bank function is to control money supply, okay, whether to reduce or to increase. Okay, this semester we learn on the demand for money. Okay, the demand for money can be divided into three: transaction, speculation, and also precautive motive. Okay, precaution motive. So that one is up to the society or the consumers to demand. But for money supply, it is controlled directly by the central bank. Okay, so which one of these, okay, is a combination that will lead to an increase, okay, in the money supply? So some of the combination is correct, okay, but you have two combination for each answer. So some of the certain part of the answer is correct for one combination, but wrong for the other combination. Okay, so we want to find both of the combination is going to lead to increase in the money supply. Okay, so which one is the correct answer for 58? So no one from the 64 students can answer the question 58. Everyone seems so not interested to discuss the solution. Okay, so let's go through solution A. Okay, a reduction in the required reserve ratio and open market purchase. Okay, so we know that reserve ratio is the requirement that central bank can change in order to increase or decrease the money supply. Okay, because it will change how much commercial bank can give money as loan to the public. Okay, so increasing the reserve ratio, which means less money for the bank uh, to give out as loan. So reducing the reserve ratio means more money for the bank to give out as loan. So reducing the reserve ratio will in fact increase the money supply. Okay. The second part is open market purchase. So we already discussed this about the selling or buying of government bonds. Okay, bonds means like a piece of paper, a certificate, okay, just like the sijil simpanan premium of the Bank Simpanan Nasional, whereby if the government want to reduce money supply, they will sell the bond to the public, meaning when we as the public buy the government bonds, we need to pay to the government and we keep our money with the government, okay, in exchange of that piece of certificate. Okay, and then we get some dividend return on the bond that we buy. So selling bonds will reduce money supply because consumers will have less money to spend. Okay, but buying back the bonds from the public, meaning that the government will buy back the bond, so money supply will increase because consumers or public will have more money to spend because the government buys back the bond from the public. So we as the public, those who buy the bonds will have extra cash lah. So increasing open market purchase means the government will buy back, okay, purchase back the bonds from the public. So this will in fact also lead to increase in money supply. So actually the correct answer is A. Okay, so why B, C, and D are wrong? Okay, open market sale is the opposite of open market purchase. Sale means the government will sell the bond, so this will lead to decrease in money supply. Okay, so second part is correct. Okay, reduction in the reserve ratio, which is similar to part A, but the one which is incorrect is the first component here. Okay, open market sale, because this selling the bond will lead to decrease in money supply. Okay, so B, this is wrong, but this is correct. So C, open market purchase, similar to A, so this is correct, will lead to increase in money supply, but a tax cut, okay, tax cut is nothing to do with the money supply. This one is just the government fiscal policy, because when you talk about money supply, it must be monetary policy. Monetary policy means policy from the central bank. Okay, so but policy from the government, what we call fiscal policy. Fiscal policy means government spending or tax. Okay, G and T lah. So if you recall from the equilibrium, okay, C plus I plus G plus X minus M. So inside that G, okay, we also have, if you learn about the multiplier, okay, the one in your test number 3 before, okay, tax multiplier, government money multiplier. So tax is part of fiscal policy. So even though tax cut will bring more income, more money for the public, but this is not part of central bank. Okay, so this part seems to be correct, okay, but we just want to focus on the role only by the central bank. So C is wrong lah, okay, because tax cut is not by the central bank, it's only done by the government. Okay, and D, discount rate cut and open market sale. Okay, discount rate cut means a reduction in the interest rate, okay, which means bank can increase, a discount rate cut, but open market sale, this part is wrong. Okay, so this is wrong, and discount rate cut, okay, will increase money supply, but this will in fact reduce money supply. So B, C, and D one part is correct, but the other one is wrong lah. So the correct answer should be A. Okay, so so in order to get the correct answer for this, you need to go back to the your notes, your book on chapter number 12, on the role of central bank. Okay, so which one is to increase, which one is to reduce money supply. Okay, 59, the interest rate the central bank charges the commercial bank. Okay, question 59. Okay, so central bank, the Bank Negara of Malaysia, for Malaysia, okay, Central Bank of Malaysia charges the commercial bank. So we know that commercial bank can also borrow money from the central bank. Okay, if the central bank has less money to, in some cases where they need to borrow money from the central bank will also charge interest rate. Okay, but the name of the interest rate charged by the central bank to the commercial bank is known as what? A, B, C, or D? Is it prime rate, open market rate, federal funds rate, or discount rate? Okay, go check your notes, your slides from chapter number 12 and see what is the name of the interest rate, that the what is the name of the interest rate that central bank charges the okay, the correct answer should be what? Many of you chose C, federal funds rate. Okay, the correct answer should be D, discount rate. Okay, don't get confused with the term federal funds rate. Okay, discount rate is, if you refer to question 58. Okay, this discount rate is similar to D here. Okay, discount rate is the interest rate charged by the central bank to the commercial bank. Okay, so you can see the other slides from the annual textbook. Okay, so you can go back to the slides from in your OL on the annual textbook, and see what is the definition of okay, so if you can see from the notes from the annual textbook, okay, here. So the one that you chose C, the federal funds market rate, okay, so this is the interest rate between banks, market where banks lend reserves to one another. So this is the answer for C, federal funds rate is the interest rate between the banks, but the one between central bank to the commercial bank is what we call as discount rate. Okay, the interest rate bank pays for a loan from the central bank. Okay, so this is federal funds rate. Okay, bank charge one another. Okay, so the one that we are looking for is discount rate. Okay, the interest rate charged by central bank to the commercial bank. Federal funds rate is the interest rate between the banks. Okay. Open market rate, this one is another thing. So you can Google, you can go back to your notes and see what is open market rate. Okay, and then question 60. Okay, which one is not the function of Central Bank of Malaysia? So 60. Okay, so the answer should be that. I think this is quite easy to choose the answer from. It should be B, banker to the public and banks. Okay, so currency issuer is correct. Okay, National Reserve, the reserve for gold and reserve for from currencies from other countries. Okay, government bank and financial advisor. Okay, so B is commercial. Bank Negara Malaysia is not the banker to the public. We as public, we don't get direct access to the central bank lah. So 60 should be B. Okay, 61. Which one is not the quantitative monetary policy tool? Okay, required margin rate, required reserve ratio, open market operation, or discount rate. Okay, so again, please don't simply tembak saja. Okay, go back to your slides and see. We have two. One is quantitative, the other one is qualitative. Okay, so you can see directly from the slides. Okay, from Arnold or the other slides from your OL. Okay, which one is not part of the quantitative? Okay, so I see some of you are choosing A. Okay, so correct. So the answer is A, required margin rate. Okay, so this is not part of quantitative monetary policy tool. Okay, so B, C, and D is part of the components. Okay, so again, if you're not sure, go back to your slides, and it is. I think this is defined quite clearly in the okay, in your quantitative monetary policy tool. Okay, so you can check that. Okay, 62. If the central bank sets the money supply, what the interest rate? The money supply curve is vertical. Okay, we know that the money supply in your chapter number. So this is chapter number 13, the one that you learned this week. Okay, on money demand and on the transaction motive. Or is it part of the okay, in chapter 12, if you look at the slides from the second slide, okay, you can see that we already discussed about the money supply being vertical, which is it is not affected by the interest rate. Okay, so that goes back to the refer back to this question. So if central bank sets money supply, what is it inversely, directly, independent, or dependent? Then the money supply is vertical. So vertical is what this graph means lah. Okay, vertical means it is not affected by the interest rate. Interest rate goes up or goes down, money supply remains constant. So is it inversely, directly, independent, or dependent? Okay, inverse means that it is downward sloping. Okay, directly related means it is outward sloping. Okay, so if you say that inversely means a downward sloping supply curve. When interest rate goes up, money supply goes down, and vice versa. Okay, but if the interest rate goes up or goes down, money supply remains the same or remain constant. So that is indicator that okay, the interest rate should be money supply is independent, okay, of the interest rate. Okay, means that interest rate goes up or goes down, money supply remains the same. Okay, so the correct answer is C lah. Okay, so 63, a decrease in interest rate will cause what? Increase in the transaction demand for money. Okay, so this again, you need to go back to the slides from this week, okay, when we discuss on the motive for demand. Okay, it is divided into transaction, speculation, and also precautionary. Okay, so speculation, transaction. Okay, okay, so you only have two, transaction and speculation. A decrease in interest rate will cause what? A, B, C, or D. Okay, so from this slide, okay, we know that for transaction demand, interest rate is independent of money of the transaction demand, meaning that it goes up or goes down, demand for money when it comes for transaction motive remains constant. Okay, but for speculation motive, okay, interest rate goes up, speculation demand for money goes down, interest rate goes down, demand for money goes up for speculation motive. So 63, decrease in interest rate should increase speculation demand for money. So 63 B lah. Okay, so again, you get this thing from the graph itself. Okay, so you don't need to worry too much about this thing. I mean the technical stuff here. Okay, as long as you know the general relationship between what is the speculation motive, what is the demand motive, what is the precautionary, and what is transaction motive. Okay, and what is the shape of the demand curve for each of these. Okay, so 63 B. Okay, final question 65 is based on chapter number 14 on the aggregate demand, aggregate supply. So that's why I mentioned today we only discuss up to question 64. Okay, as interest rate what increase or decrease, the opportunity cost of holding money decrease or increase, and individual choose to what money? More. Okay, so you know that the last answer should be more. Okay, because A, B, C, and D are all the same answer. So what will cause you to hold more money? Meaning that you put more money in your wallet rather than you put in the bank. Okay. When does you keep money in your wallet rather than you put money in the bank? Okay, so we already discussed again this week. Okay, when do you want to keep money in the bank, or if you prefer to put money. So this one is discussed already in the speculation motive. Okay, on this bond relationship. Okay, whether when interest rate goes up, okay, you prefer to we prefer to keep money in the bank. Okay, because we want to get more dividend from the saving that we put. But if the interest rate is low, so less incentive for the public to put money in the bank, because the return on the dividend, I mean the dividend that you get from your saving is low lah. So it's better for you to spend the money. So that is what this thing lah. So if you want to hold money, more money, that means interest rate must decrease first lah. As interest rate decrease, the opportunity cost of holding money increase or decrease? Okay, is it? Okay, so we know that this should be decreasing, okay, or decreases. So the opportunity cost of holding money increase or decrease? Okay, what is opportunity cost? Something that you need to let go. Okay, so if you the second best option, okay, by not doing by choosing another option, okay, you need to let go another thing, so that will be the opportunity cost. Okay, so if interest rate as interest rate decrease, okay, opportunity cost of holding money will also decrease lah, because you will lose less dividend lah. Okay, so and okay, so 64, I think the answer should be D. Okay, so you need to understand this concept, this question from the statement. Okay, if let's say if you put interest rate increase, okay, if this is increasing, okay, opportunity cost of holding money, yes, this one will increase. Okay, so if interest rate increase, okay, if you keep money in your wallet rather than you put in the money, if you put, so this one, let's say if this one is more, okay, meaning that if you keep money, more money in your wallet rather than you put money in the bank, so in that case you are losing more dividend. So the opportunity cost of holding money increase lah, because if you keep money in your wallet rather than you put money in the bank, you are losing more dividend. So that is what it means by opportunity cost of holding money. By holding more money, you are losing more dividend. So by holding more money, the opportunity cost of holding money increase lah. Okay, but in our case here, the interest rate decrease. Okay, so decrease means that if you hold money, okay, you're not really losing that much lah, because there's no incentive for you to put money in the bank. So that's why this one is also decreasing. Okay, but if this one is increasing, then this must also increase lah. Okay, so that is why the answer should be D. Okay, so you can do other questions from the